Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's been a minute since I've done one of these videos. Sorry, I've just been so busy getting ready to graduate college. I graduate next month with a degree in music production and I'm starting a company. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. It just takes so long to do these videos, I haven't had an opportunity to sit down and do one. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about the new Toolmaster Pro updates, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite presets and kind of just show you some tones, what I use. Let's get it. Alright, so really when it comes to my tones that I use on the Toolmaster Pro, there's really like three different sounds I go for so far. So I want a really good clean, a really good distortion, and then some different variations of overdrive. So we're going to look at my favorite presets. If you listen to my album that I released about a month ago, all of the clean tones you're hearing are this amp right here. This is my Juicy Cleans preset. This is the best clean preset I've made, and I just use it all the time. Sounds so good. This does everything for me. I use this all the time, seriously. It's my #1 preset. When I boot up my Toolmaster Pro, it's what it comes to. Well, I guess now with the new updates, it goes whatever the last thing was you had up. Alright, so for my distortion, I use the Van Halen preset. The only thing I've changed is I've gone in and I've increased the preset volume, and I've also increased the amp level. So you can see this one's at 68%. I went through, just to kind of ruin where I'm going with all those. You can see all my presets that I mostly use. But for these top four, I went through and I just made sure all the volumes are pretty close. So whenever I'm doing my live streams, which by the way, here's a little plug. If you haven't been jumping on our live streams, you should. We have a lot of fun over there. But all of my presets are set up where the volumes are mixed efficiently. So I'm not having to be like, oh, this is way too loud, and either crank here or jump on my amp. But I love this amp. I haven't changed anything. I think this is one of the few presets where like Fender just really knocked it out of the park here. I use everything on here. If you watch my Tools Day live streams, which is a live stream on Tuesdays I do where all I play is Tool and like math rock metal, prog metal. This is the amp that I use. It just does everything well. And I know I say that, I'm not going to play Tool because I'm not in drop tuning, but... It chugs, man. It's great. All the effects on here are really good. I like the wall. Honest to God, this large plate reverb is really good. Again, I haven't changed anything from this preset outside of volumes, which, Jason, if you're watching, I hope you guys fix the volume issue because it is so frustrating. If you guys are new to the Toolmaster Pro land and you're trying to get into recording, you're going to notice one big pain in the butt immediately, and that's you go from one preset, sounds great. You go to another preset, it's so quiet. You turn up your amp. You change presets, now all of a sudden your amp's blowing your speakers out. That's the name of the game with the Toolmaster Pro as it comes stock. So just be prepared for that. Not that big of a deal. It's just a frustration that you have to deal with once. So go into your preset settings, change your preset volume here, and then the other thing you want to check is your amp level. You get those two things and you're good. Okay, I don't know why my camera did balloons, but we're gonna keep it. Alright, my other favorite preset is Chicken Pickin'. I think by default this is like preset number 15 or 14. I just get this set up where my first 5 are like the ones that I use the most. In full disclosure, I do have a background in country. I played with 2 country artists, so I am kind of partial to the sound, but you get so much more out of this than country. But don't get me wrong, look, this is a Strandberg, and it still does the country thing. You know, it'll do it all. It does it. But it also does math rock really well. So if you're a fan of that genre, it handles it well. So if you like the tones of, say, like 40 Ounce from Polyphia, any Chon song, Goose by Polyphia, this will do it really well. And honestly, Chon uses what's called a matchless amp, which is basically a boutique version of the Vox 130 or AC30. Sorry, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, so anytime I'm saying AC, I'm thinking like AC 130, the plane, or C 130. But, you know, the only things I changed on here, again, is just the volume levels. So preset volume, I increased it 94%. This is where it fit well in the mix. And on both amps, both this and the deluxe reverb, it is at 67%. Outside of that, I haven't changed anything preset-wise. You know, if you're not familiar with the country style, we have this thing called a slapback, which is that click and back sound. If that's not your jam, just turn off the space delay. And it sounds good, even the overdrive. Great, man. It's seriously, if you own a single coil guitar, turn this chicken picking thing on and get down. Get down! It's so good. I love it. This next preset, I'm going to answer some questions that I've been getting on the Facebook forum groups, which was like, hey, how do you set up the super duper impulse response? So just real quick, before I show you that though, this is my Tangerine, aka Orange amp. I think that's so funny how they do these names, because this is an orange amp, clear as day. I love it though. Tangerine! Tangerines are cooler than oranges! Anyways, I got a good laugh when I saw this. This is one of my favorite amps, man. My favorite amps for like overdrive tones, and Fender just knocked it out of the park. I mean, dude, the value proposition of the Tonemaster Pro now, we'll talk about that. We'll jump into it. A lot of you have been watching my live streams. You know I've used the Axe FX3 for the last month. I'll give you my thoughts at the end of all this, I promise. But okay, jumping into the impulse response. For my speaker curve, or SIC, as someone would call it recently, I put it on none. And then, you know, my dB level, I'm doing -8. You can increase this if you need to. I just kind of left it here. And then this is where I got really spicy on cutting. This is a really aggressive cut, but in just full disclosure, I think this impulse response can be a little heavy on the low end. So if you enjoy that, great. But I would really recommend you cut the low end up to where your ears like. I created this amp and got it dialed in for my Strandberg. My Strandberg is a single coil guitar using SIR pickups. So I understand if I just record the raw signal where this guitar sits frequency wise. So I kind of just match the hatch, if that makes sense. Well, that's a fly fishing term, but you get the idea. And then I also did a high cut at 5.3 kilohertz, just kind of really trying to tame the highs. If you feel like the any impulse response sounds too fake and it doesn't sound like the amp, it's probably because you've got too much high in. So I cut that. The other thing on this preset, I noticed the orange amp can be a little loud, so I just went ahead and gated everything just to make sure that the amp is quiet. And then on the amp itself, I'm doing a high noise gate. That's how I was able to tame that hiss, you know. The other thing I'm running is I'm using the Klon drive, not using too much dirt on it, but just something to tighten up my guitar a little bit. And honestly, I just love this pedal. This is my favorite pedal in the Tonemaster Pro. I use this over the Tube Screamer any day of the week. The other thing I'm running, I'm a fan of putting a boost in front of tube amps, and I found that the Tonemaster Pro reacts really well, just like a real tube amp. But as you can see, I'm not doing a lot of a boost, just, you know, less than 1 decibel of a boost. And that's because I'm using a single coil guitar. While these pickups are really hot, it's just like my safety blanket, you know? The other thing I've got in front of it, again, I didn't really change. I think this is actually the presets. I like how it comes stock for what I want out of a compressor. Basically, I just want to tame the wild child transient. So my highs aren't going to be too low, and my low end it's just a nice even compression, and it's also going to give you a little bit of sustain. On single coil guitars, this is really, really important. But in a studio environment, you're always going to compress a guitar signal. You're going to do 3 things, really. You're going to EQ, you're going to compress, and you're probably going to put reverb. It's rare that you do guitars dry, unless if you're in like metal and that's just your thing. For the reverb though, I decided to go with this new small hall reverb modulated. It sounds really good. These are the settings. If you're a true diehard math rock fan, this might be too much reverb for you, but I like it. So here's what it sounds like. This is inspired by Chon. Super cool. It's mix ready. That's the whole idea for this, is that it's ready to be plugged into my Logic Pro session, and I'm ready to go recording wise. Alright, so those are the presets that I use. Hopefully it gives you an idea of the things that I enjoy, why I like them, and how I build out my rig. You know, in the live streams, I've told you guys that I've been using the Axe FX3 exclusively for the last month and a half. And then recently I've had a lot of people ask me if I still use my Toolmaster Pro. The answer is yes, absolutely. I use the Axe FX3 because I got it at a really good deal right before I got the Toolmaster Pro. And honestly, it's collected a lot of dust since I got the Toolmaster Pro. So it's like, I gotta learn how to use this thing. And I made it the corner piece of my studio where everything is hooked into it. I enjoy the inputs on it. I don't really enjoy using the unit. I'm gonna be honest. It's not as fun building rigs. It's not as intuitive as the Toolmaster Pro. While it has, and really it only has two features that the Toolmaster Pro does not have. And if the Toolmaster Pro ever gets this, I'd probably be comfortable selling this thing. One is a synthesizer. Listen, the synthesizer and the guitar are the two coolest instruments on this planet. Change my mind. Good luck. The synthesizer is just badass. So is the Toolmaster Pro, or the guitar. Toolmaster Pro too. But the other thing I really enjoy about the Axe FX3 is the virtual capo. So, you know, every now and then I want to rip some Limp Bizkit. I can't just throw a guitar, you know, because most of my songwriting is in standard or drop D or maybe E flat standard or D standard at the lowest. I believe off of memory, they play in like C sharp or drop C sharp standard. No, they're in C sharp standard. And then they'll drop tune from there. So I can take a standard guitar and just drop it 4 semitones or 3 semitones depending, and then get off and play, you know, hot dog water or whatever I want. That's a feature that if it came to the Toolmaster Pro, bro, the Toolmaster Pro would be like, I would sell the Axe FX3 and just pocket the rest of the money. That's just kind of my view of the Axe FX3 versus Toolmaster Pro. It's just not intuitive. And, you know, as a guitar player, I don't really care to sit here and build these rigs. On the Toolmaster Pro, it's fun. On the Axe FX3, it's like a job. And I don't like that. You know, it's kind of like, best way I think I said it on a live stream recently is like, my Toolmaster Pro feels like an iPhone, and the Axe FX3 feels like an Android. And I'm an iPhone user. I'm an Apple user. You know, while I'm sure that the Android devices can do everything that my iPhone can't, the thing is that when I want to use a computer, I'll use a computer. I want my iPhone to be a phone and to be one device that does that really, really well. And I feel like the Toolmaster Pro is an amp. That's the way I view it. The Axe FX3, it's a modeler. It does everything. I know that sounds like kind of goofy and getting lost in the details, but it makes a difference when you're a creative, because you need something that empowers you to go fast and that feels like home, and you can be really, really proficient with it. Because if you've got to spend more time dialing in tones than you are playing with those tones, that's a problem. That's where I feel like I am on the Axe FX3. And I just have option paralysis. Like, there's like 5 different versions of the AC30, you know? And I'm sure that's great, but I'm someone who's like, I just need it to sound believable and good and go from there. You know, I don't need 10 different flavors of the same thing, but I do appreciate it. All right, well, those are all of my go-to presets. All of this you can download on the Fender Cloud. 2 of these presets are mine. The other 2 are Fender's. So pretty good mix, I would say. And at least gives you a variety of what I use and why I use it. So I told you I would talk about my business at the beginning of the video. Just kind of give you guys if you've been following my live streams, you already know because I've talked about this all the time. But I'm getting ready to graduate college with my 2nd degree. I have a degree in computer science from Clemson University, go Tigers. And I also, as of next month, I will have a degree in music production from Full Sail University. So I'm starting a company where I blend my 2 passions, technology and music production, and my love of guitar. I'm a big guitar nerd. You're watching this video, you know this. So what I focus on is teaching experienced guitar players music production. If you're someone who doesn't really enjoy playing cover songs, or maybe you just want to record your own songs, that's what I'm here for, is to show you basically, 1, how do we dial in tones? Like, if you're watching this video, you're obviously interested in Toolmaster Pro and digital guitar tones. First step is getting you comfortable where you're dialing in your own sounds based on the music that you listen to. You heard my reference track. I'm listening to a lot of Tool, almost said Metallica. I don't listen to Metallica. I've listened to a lot of Tool, math rock, so Chan, Polyphia, Intervals, Plenty. You know, these are like the guys that I really enjoy their music, their production, and so I'm replicating it with my sounds, right? Depending on who you like, that's how we would monitor the sounds that you make. The second part of that is getting into the actual recording aspect. So recording is a lot more than just recording tracks and throwing it out on YouTube, you know, or wherever you want to put your music at. So I'll walk you through some core fundamentals of like, how do I actually plan to write a song? How do you write songs? Because the whole songwriting process in its own is so unique, and it takes a while to really get your process underneath you, at least for me. And then once we get that done and the fundamentals of, you know, I call it my DAW accelerator, then we talk about mixing and mastering. So if you record right and you're doing your arrangement right and we're mixing on the fly, mastering should really be a fast thing. But mixing is where a lot of people get in trouble. So I really give some core ideas that I've learned at Full Sail University, learning from the finest producers. Like literally one of my professors produced all of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. While that may not be my cup of tea, and I'll tell you why, but I still learn a ton from him. So use that. That's an expensive degree, and I basically am offering this as a service. So if that sounds interesting to you, consider checking out my socials, guitar artistry program. That's what I'm calling this business, and then also just me. I love talking about this stuff, so pick my brain. Lastly, I just want to say thank you to all my Patreon supporters. I do appreciate you guys being patient with me while I am dealing with life and getting ready to graduate and just being really busy. Just know your support really means a lot to me, and I'm truly grateful that you're here. With that, I'd like to know 1 or 2 things you're grateful for in the comment section. Let me know what you learned. And I'll see you in the next one.